was a great day in April 2010 with me, Winnie, from BEPG Bioepidemiology News, Mexico. Let me serve you with the latest news on April 2010. An explosion happened in the oil drilling of Deepwater Horizon, operating in the Macondo prospect on the Gulf of Mexico. It sank and unfortunately led to 11 deaths of the employees. This Deepwater Horizon incident has been called the largest oil spill in history of marine oil drilling operations.
The population around are very concerned about this oil spill incident that has happened around them.
I'm here now with one of the villagers staying near the Deepwater Horizon. We shall see what kind of experience they have been experiencing since the incident.
The spilled water contains 40 times more toxic compound than before the spills. The toxic compounds are often linked to carcinogen and chemicals that pose various health risks to human and marine life.
Move on to the next villager. We would like to hear some of her opinions on how this incident has affected humans. Madam, do you have something to say?
From my point of view, I think the long-term side effect would especially affect the cleanup workers because they are exposed to the oil spill. Like some of them, they mentioned that they experience symptoms such as shortness of breath, headache, skin rash, chronic cough, and many other side effects.
Other than the human, what about the animals? We would like to know what are the effects that the animal has been experiencing ever since the incident.
Effects on the animals, I think most of the birds, mammals and turtles will be plastered with decayed oil and eventually will die. The oil will destroy the insulating ability of the fur-bearing animals, such as the sea otters and the water repellency of a bird's feathers, thus exposing the creatures to the harsh elements. Without the ability to repel water and insulate from the cool water, birds and mammals will die from hypothermia.
I would like to introduce the epidemiologist Ms. Amira, who has been investigating the Deepwater Horizon oil spill. May you tell us briefly about the reasons behind this catastrophe?
Sure. So basically, Deepwater Horizon was happened because of preventable missteps by engineers and workers designing it there. And all of this disaster was situated in the Macondo oil prospect in the Mississippi Canyon. And all of this happened began during drilling. So when they're drilling, they need to stop the drilling because the pressure was too high than usual. So the hole that they made need to be lined with the casing. So to hold this casing in the place, they need to pump in the concrete surround the casing evenly so they can prevent the oil leaking. So the computer models recommended them to use the casing that will fit it nicely, but the BP engineers said they're still decide to use the shorter one because they lack of the supply. So here we go. Here's the point, which is it will increase the risk the cement will not surround the casing evenly. So during the pouring of a cement, BP did several choices that increase the risk of an error. So in the mine, they detected the cement is unstable and it might form pores that allows a liquid and gases to pass through. So the Halliburton share some of these test results with the BP, but the company still decided to proceed with it. So the concrete cores were likely too weak to withstand the pressure because they were composed of a concrete mixture that used nitrogen gas to accelerate the curing. So once released by the fracture of the core, the natural gas traveled up the deep water Greek riser to the platform where it's ignited. So it's killing 11 workers and injuring the 17 workers. And all of this happened on 22 April in the morning, which is coincidentally happened in Earth Day, which is a globally recognized day promoting environmental protection.
Alright, let us also hear about some of the ideas on what would the epidemiologist Ms. Amisha would like to do as a team to investigate the case further.
So basically, the Gulf study is a prospective cohort study where we did a follow-up of individuals who are involved in the oil spill back in 2010. We observed them for about 3 years and compared the health state at the beginning of the study and also after 3 years. And we actually managed to obtain a relative risk of 1.22, which means that these people who are exposed have an association with increased risk of non-fatal myocardial infarction. The Deepwater Horizon oil spill had 12 times more oil compared to the Exxon Valdez oil spill happened back in 1989. And more to that, the mortality and morbidity rates were also higher, which is around 8.73 and also 13.49 per 100 people respectively.
Up till now, we have seen how much this incident has brought to the population. This is all from yours, Winnie, of the BEPG.
After more than 10 years, we still could not deny much of the lessons learned from this tragedy. Human error in rushing to complete tasks should not be the priority over health and safety of lives. To be precise, crew members should also be trained to take control of an emergency disaster. It is terrifying to know that there was no firm contingency plan crafted from any companies or the US Coast Guard for those workers during the incident. Besides, we as well can't unsee how much the environment has been affected. The world cannot endure any more oil spills as large as the Deepwater horizon. We might forget them, those who have sacrificed, but who would be there to bear with the families left behind after the explosion? We could gain so much, but never the love we miss that is no longer there. You have our respect from all around the world.